Okay, Diamond. Last class you are not available. Wow. Okay, this is what we are supposed to do last time. So what I'll be doing is to show you guys how to draw a perfect trend line. You understand? Because I see some people trying to force trend line, like some people try to force it, like do some type of things, and at the end of the day, they will take a wrong trend line. People try to force it like these false trend lines. So what we're doing is to show you now how to draw a perfect trend line. How to draw a perfect trend line. Perfect one. Waiting for this guy to join. Waiting for this guy to join this continue. So, okay. Because basically any market that you trade, any analysis you do, any strategy, the trend line is very useful. Trendline is also very useful when you're a price action trader. Like all these trade, like this chart that you are seeing, everything happens. Price changes direction when the trend is broken. Like everything you see, once the trend is broken, price changes direction. See, once the trend is broken, price changes direction to the downside. So trend line is very, very useful, and I'm going to be showing you how to draw a very, very, very good trend line. And it's going to be very fast. Going to be very, very fast. Okay, let me try to come on, okay, let me try to cut it from here. Let's start with a downtrend. Okay. Like when you want to draw a trend line, when you want to draw a perfect trend line here. When you want to draw a perfect trend line, the first thing that we need to do, first of all, look at the movement that occurred before that trend line was broken. Because if you look at price here, for instance, if you look at price here, price was bullish, and this was the trend line that was broken before this price went bearish, before this movement happened. So when you are trading trend lines, you need to be careful when spotting your trend lines. And if you notice this trend line pattern, you notice that the price was bullish. And when you are drawing your trend line, you try as much as possible to link the first two swing points, like this one, and this one is also a swing point. You understand? You try to link the first two swing points, like this is a swing point here, where price started this bullish movement. This is a swing point, and this is another swing point here. You understand? This is another swing point here. That's what you need to take note of. So after mapping this swing point, the next thing that you're supposed to be looking at, supposed to be looking at the dead touch on this trend line. And if you notice, this trend line had three touches. This was the first, this was the second, and this was the third here. And that's another swing point where you can buy this market to the top here. And also when you are buying, when you are entering a trade, once you spot your dead touch of the trend line, when you're entering the trade, make sure you know where your take profit will be, because this is a resistance level here. And if you are using the third entry, like the third touch of the trend line, if you're entering from here, know that you're entering from here because there's a support around here. There's a support here. if you're entering from here, whether you're entering from this place and you're coming out this next resistance level, this next resistance level. That's how simple the trend line is. So now I'm going to show you what will happen here. This was the first touch, this was the second touch, and this was the third touch where you'll be looking for your entry after you spot a confirmation. So when you take that trade, you're out here. The next thing you are training is you're anticipating that okay, maybe price is still going to break this resistance level, come back on your trend line, and you trade to the top side. That's what you'll be expecting. But since you know that price is now reacting on this resistance, right? You also have two things in mind. This place where take profit is a resistance. Mark the resistance, like mark with this rectangle. This is a resistance here. And price came up here and did not break this resistance and came back to your trend line and came back to your trend line. Like price came up here, did not break this resistance, came back to your trend line. Here, for me, I don't expect you to buy to the top again because price is already validating your trend line. That's why when you're trading trend lines, you need to be very careful. You need to very clinical and trading the trend lines. So the next thing that you spot here as a trend line trader, the next thing that you'll be anticipating here is what we call a trend line breakout, which we did in the last class. Like price is going up, down, higher high, higher lows, higher high, higher lows, like this. Let me arrange my pattern. This how price is moving, and this what is happening here. So some people will tell me, ask me if they are going to see the same thing like this on the chart. No, if you look at this pattern, it's almost the same thing that's happening here. Just that here, I'm trying to make it look easier to understand. So now you have gotten your first touch here, your second touch here, of your trend line, and you have entered your trade here. You understand? And you have a resistance level where you are taking a profit. This is where you are taking a profit. This is a resistance. So when prices reaches here, there's what we call a trend line breakout. Like we'll be anticipating whether price is going to go up and retrace, then you buy to the top, or you anticipate if price is going to dance here and break your trend line reverse back to the downside. You understand? This is a simple basic understanding that I can show you here. And we are going to apply it here. Then we draw again our trend line and see if it's clear or not. Okay, let me take away this example. Let's take away this example first. Okay, so this is the example now. So what happened here now? This price did not break this resistance and it came back to our trend line and it gave us a fake out because if you notice, after taking this trade to the upside, we had a swing point here. This was a swing point. I can call it a support. There was a support level here. So this was a breakout because there's this trend line like fake out as if it's breaking to the downside. And here it's going to catch some people because they'll be trying to enter here like the trend line is breaking down, that is breaking down. So they will be trying to enter sales from here and go down. But this was a fake out. Price fake out and went back to that same resistance. And if this price could have broken this resistance, we'll be waiting again for a retest and we'll buy to the up. But since price did not break this resistance, that's when we already have a double top. You already have a double top. And once you have a double top, and if you notice, we had a double top and our trend line was already violated. Price was not respecting this trend line anymore. And you had a double top. So the next thing you'll be anticipating is this double top is a confirmation for you to enter this trade from here and come out here. This, mind you, this place is a swing point. And this swing point is like a support. This is not that it's like a support. This is already a support. This was a resistance. This was a resistance point. And price broke the resistance. And coming back here, it's no more resistance. This is a support. Okay. So now you're waiting for price. So spotting this one, double top, and trend line is violated. We are trying to enter the sell from here. So you can enter a sell from here. You are seeing this bearish candle. This bearish candle shows that there are many the sellers are already entering the market. So you can sell this market from this trend line breakout. From this trend line breakout, the stop loss behind the resistance, and you come out here. That's how you trade price action with trend line support and resistance. You can sell this market from here and your take profit will just be here at this support level. Okay, so now let's remove this sell. Okay, let me just shift it. Let's say you miss this trade. You didn't want to enter this trade from here. You understand? You don't want to enter from here, and you are anticipating for what we call a trend line break and retest. I showed an example down here, which I'm going to like here now. The trainer was broken. This trainer was broken. This trainer was broken. You missed this trainer and breakout, and it came down. The trainer came down here, and it returns back to this resistance zone. So when price returns back to this resistance, this was a support level. The trainer was broken. Let me remove this. There's a support level here. Trend line broken here. Retest back to this place. Now this is no more support level. This is a resistance because price have already broken the support, come and came back to this resistance. So since we're in a higher time frame, the next thing we're looking to sell from here. We're looking to sell from here. We're looking to sell from here. I don't know if you understand. You're looking to sell from here. You understand? And trying to sell from here doesn't mean that this is a higher time frame. This is a daily time frame. You have to go to a lower time frame. You spot a confirmation candle somewhere here. And you can now sell this market from here. And before you enter any sale, you have to know that target where you are going out of the market. You cannot just sell and you want your take profits to be somewhere here. When you are selling, you have to know when you are going out of the market. So if you are trying to sell from here, we have another support area here. This is support. I call this one swing point. This place, this is support. So when you are selling from here, know that you are going out either here or inside this box. That's where take profit will be. Like let's do something. Just say you saw the market from here. The stop loss will be behind the support level. Behind this support, this is where stop loss will be. Behind this support, and you have your first TP here. This is your first TP here. You can sell this market and come out here. But if you want to swing this trade, you can swing it right to this place. I know very well that this market was going to reach here. It was going to reach down here. You understand? I know very well that market was going to reach down here. That is the more reason why. That is the more reason why I told you that your stop, your take profit should be here. So now you had your trend line breakout, retest back, and you got your entry from here. So the next thing now is how will you now, since market have already changed the structure, we are bullish, now we are going to be bearish. Market have changed the structure. What are you going to do now? That's the question. So the next thing that you are going to do is you are going to draw your trend line. And what you will do is take your trend line, mark this first swing position and this one, and you align it like this. You mark it all the way down. This is already a trend line. This first position, this second swing point, and we have the third here. So this was the support level. We have the third swing point here. Hope is clear. This is it. And the third swing point here. This is a place. We got a buy from here, and now we are anticipating to sell from here. This is just something that let me show you another practical example of what is happening there again. Price was higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. It's have higher high, higher low, like this. That's what was happening. Right. Price was here, and we had a buy position from here. We had a buy position from here, from this place. We bought from here to the top. Okay. And now price changes direction and came here. This channel was broken, came back, break, retest here, came back again, and retest back to this place. And we are looking for a sell because our market structure have changed. We have a market structure shift. Yeah, we got our first sell from here and anticipating another sell from this place. That is just a perfect example of what is happening up here. So now like this, you already know that this is our trend line. And if you notice, the market saw from here, came back to the trend line again. This was another touch, but that touch was like a fake out, but because the market was trying to trick buyers that this place is that this resistance is broken. So the market came back here and came back to the trend line again. And this trend line is another resistance. And that was the perfect place to sell the market to do. It was the perfect place to sell the market, like to do for another short position from here. Your stop loss will just be side. Your stop loss will be behind the resistance. And you are going to sell to this can sell to this resistance or you can sell to this swing from here. No problem. Just sell to your resistance. You understand? So this is how the trend lines work. That is the trend line. That's how the trend line works. Very easy. So now we are here. The reason why I marked this place was because if you go back to the previous price action, you will notice that this place, let me use my like that, we notice that this place is a swing point, a support, this place, and market is reacting here. You understand? Market is reacting here. So let's see, let's play and see how we can try to what we can do to enter a trade here. Because this is what we have. This is what we have at the moment here. And I'm going to show you again what you can do when you're in a situation like this. So the next thing that you're trying to do is to be looking for market to come down, break this place, this support, come back here, and you see the downside. Or this market can retrace from here, come back here, and finally break this strong line again to the upside. We'll break this strong line, we just back and move to the upside. So let's see what is going to happen. Let's play the video and see. Okay, this is what has happened here. First, I've broken this plus. Let's see if we are going to have a confirmation, but this, this, this is not really that clear. You know. Let's wait for the confirmation. Okay, you see now why I say it's not clear because this place was broken. That's how patient you need to be when you are trading price action. Very patient. Because price could have just imagine that you are not patient. Price can just break this place, come back here like this, and you'll be struggling to enter because price was giving you a trip move to the downside. But look at what happened. Price came back to our resistance, but out of our trend line. It's showing something. Price is back to the resistance, but it's out of the trend line. This trend line is broken, but not perfectly like broken. So let me show you now. Let me tell you what is going to happen here. You see this point here? There's this window. If if you have a breakout from here, a clean breakout with a bullish candle, we can buy to the top. Or we wait for a breakout like this, we just back to this position and we buy to the upside. So let's play and see what price is going to give us here. Let's see. Okay, like that's even more faster. So look at this place. If you are trying to catch a buy from here, you can only go down to a lower time frame and try to catch a buy from here. And your stop loss will be below this support level. Stop loss will be below this support level. And you can catch your buy from here. And you'll be targeting for this area. You'll be targeting this resistance. Targeting this resistance if you are trying to buy from here. That's the only area you'll be targeting. But if you miss this move, you wait and see if price is still going to come down here. If price is still going to come down here, then you can now buy to this area. So let's see if we can get that movement again. So let's see what price will give us. Okay, we have TP hit here from this place to this place. So price is tracing back. And mind you, you're having two swing points because if price more from here and fail to price more from here and fail to come back here. And it's still more from here. The next thing, I don't think this price is going to come back here again because look at this place, look at this support, this support. And we also have this one. Price already more from here, and this is a very, very high volatility. Well, I don't know if you understand. Price already more from here. So it's going to be very hard for price to come back to this place. Look at this candle. So we'll be anticipating here. And anyway, since we are trading price action and trend line, we are going to be waiting for a confirmation so we can enter a trade from here. So like I said, this trend line is already broken. And the next thing, when the trend line is broken, we started from here. and this trend line is broken. The next thing to see if the market structure have changed, draw your trend line again. Take this first swing from, you join it with this one, and you let it, you draw it to the upside and see what is going to happen. Whether price is going to come back to our trend line or not. This was first touch, second touch. Let's see if we can get a third touch in a very clean area. So let's see. We have our third touch here. We have our third touch and price have respected this place. This is our third touch here. Price have respected our third touch on the trend line to show that this trend line has been respected. Since we are trading a trend line, I know that SMC, some strategies of people will be like there's another block here, I don't trade with that one because who was that? We should be waiting for this for price to come back to this support. This is what is going to happen. Price is going to break this trend line before coming back. And once this trend line is broken, I'm no more trading the uptrend until I have something like this again. So let's see if this trend line is going to go from here, and we have our support level here. Like we are trying to buy from here, and our stop loss will be below this week, and we are coming up here, buy from here to this point. We can buy from here to this point, to this level here. So we have our first TP here, our second TP here, and now this place was a support area. So when you are buying, to make sure that you know where you are buying to, don't just buy. So let's see if we are going to hit a stop loss or move to the upside. We're not. That's really move like it's very simple. That's how you trade. This was our first. That's just how you spot the market. That's how you trade trend lines. This is it. At first, you start. You make sure that you connect two swing points, this one and this one. This is the first two swing points that are connected, and I was waiting for the third one. I was waiting for a buy on the third swing point, and that happened. And we bought to this area, we bought to this place. So generally, you can see the market is working in trends. Look, break, come down, go up, come down. So now this is another 3D position. Let's adjust our trend line and see. Because we are still bullish. We are still bullish. Let's see if price is going to buy to this place. Let's see if we are going to have another retest to the upside. This is another support level here. Okay, let's see if we are going to have another retest back to the upside. So let's see whether price is going to give us this movement. So come back here. We buy to this place and see if it's going to break or it's going to break the trend line. Let's see. Not playing. Um, Price did not come back. Went directly up. You cannot force a trade. Price went directly up, and now it's giving us something like a break and retest. I can buy to the upside. But looking at this place, I'm not seeing any resistance. So there's a resistance level. Looking at this place, we have a resistance here. We have a resistance level there. So if you are to enter this trade from here, you can only use the lower time frame. Once we go to a lower time frame, we notice that this was a trend line. Yeah, this was a trend line from here, swing point, this one, and price move from here. You can trade in the 5 minute, 3 minute time frame. So let's see what is going to happen next. We still have our trend line, we still have our bullish trend line now. We still have this trend line here. That's for the market, this one. So let's see. We're still going to have another price on our trend line and try to trade it. Hmm, this is price back. Okay. This is another trigger position. This is another area where if we make a mistake, we are going to be out. So for me, for the number of times I've seen this type of situation, and we also had the same situation here. Had a double when this trainer was about to go to break to the downside, we had a double top here. And that's some kind of movement before the trainer got broken. Now we are spotting almost the same thing here. Look at what is happening. Price came here. Let me start from this movement. Price moved here, break, we test back, and we are waiting for price to at least give us another movement up before we can go for a test. We look at what price did and look at this position. This high did not break this one. So if we look at all this movement and price is now back to our trend line and we also have a support level here. If we look at all this movement here, price have not formed any new high, any higher high. Price is just directly here on this resistance level. So if you try to buy here, the price is back to our trend line and we have a confirmation that price back to our trend line is very risky. It's very risky to buy from here. Let me just put my buy position here. You see, it's very risky because price did not break this high. Price did not break. So let's see what is going to happen. We play. Let's see. Wow, you understand? If you buy from there, that's what is going to happen to you. Stop loss straight because price failed to break this high. Price failed to break this high. You understand? Price failed to break this high. So now you notice another double top here and here. You understand? And price was reacting here, trying to lie buyers to buy to the upside. Now we have our double top here. We have our trend line was broken to the downside. So what I'll be anticipating here, this is already our let's say, yeah, this is our support. So I'm waiting for the market to come back here and I sell back to this place. This was this was a support level and a resistance level. Now it's going to be a support. It was a resistance, now it's going to be a support. So waiting for price to do this movement and we'll be like, you sell from here, our first sell, this trend line is broken, our first sell and come down here. But let's wait and see how price will react. Someone can likely miss the trade. Price did not really come back to this support and it was time to confirm. But nevertheless, we already already have knowledge about how the trend line works. And if you notice, you could have draw a trend line immediately. And then when price formed this new low to the downside. So now we know that the market have changed structure again. And we are now selling. We are now looking for sales. Market have changed structure. We're now looking for sales. So let's see. Let's play and see what happens. Because they're now waiting for price to reverse back to our trend line. And although this trend line is not perfect, but I'm still waiting for price to test this support area. This support. Let's see. Let's see what will happen. Mhm. Mm, okay. This is another thing that I need to explain here. And you see it often in the market. Price came back and we are waiting for price to tap in our trend line and we look for a very good position to sell to the downside. But unfortunately, this was the only position that we had here. Because if you this was the only better position that we can sell from there. Then you notice price came back there. And what we did when we started the types of markets that I introduced you guys was we had ranging market. What price is doing presently, price is ranging here, price is ranging here. So what I will do, I'll remove my trend line from here and I will try to I'll remove my trend line from there. Let me use about this price. Okay, price is ranging here in between this price support and this resistance. I'll just adjust my trend line and see where the price is going to break out. But in my mind, the overall idea that I have is I'm trying to sell. I'm looking for sales, but the market have already have broken this trend line. So I'm looking for sales. You understand? So let's see if the market is going to break to the downside or is going to break this trend line, come back here. I'm looking for buys to the upside. So let's see what is going to happen. Boom. Would everyone waiting the market, the breakout happened to the downside. And that is what we are anticipating. It's supposed to happen to the downside. And if you, someone like me, I already know that this breakout is was going to happen to the downside because when a breakout is about to occur, price is moving like this, right? Price is moving this way. Let me give you another example again. Price is moving inside this resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, and you start seeing price instead of going back to the resistance, price rejected here, came back here, and it's doing something here like this. Just know that a breakout is about to happen, either like this, to the downside, or a breakout is just going to happen like a straight breakout to the downside. Like just know that something like this is going to happen, and that's what happened here. Price was going up, like price came back to this support, resistance, came back here and formed this place. Price form another lower high here, this one, to show you that the breakout is about to occur. And what happened? The next thing before you realize, boom. And once you miss a breakout, just wait for a retest back. If at all you are going to wait one, just wait for price to retest back. And we already had our trend line. And if price retraces back to the trend line, you can swing the trend right to the support level. You should understand because we already have a let's touch second here. This is when I can now trade this trend line without fear. Now like this. Let's see if price is going to give us something like that. Price just went directly to RTP. Directly to RTP. And now it's now risky to trade it now like this. Price went directly to our TP. Directly. That's how you if you miss a breakout. Yeah, yeah, this breakout. Once we miss a breakout, we miss a full trade. This was a breakout. So we're anticipating for this retracement to set to the downside. This could have been a very, very perfect trade if we had a retracement back to this position. This is our third touch of the trend line. The retracement back here, this position. If you had to retrace me back to this position, we'll be looking for a very nice, that is one of my A4 setups, like my A, uh, my A plus. When I see that type of market movement, I always anticipate to sell from here. The market did not give us what we want. The breakout went straight to our TP here, to our TP. And here we already have a strong support here. And we have another one down here. So the only thing we need to anticipate to see if this market can come down to this support area or not. But our trend line is already broken from here. Let's see what's going to happen next. This trend line is broken from here. And the trend line is broken. You need to learn a lot before you understand this trend line breakout. Because for some people, when the trend line just break out here like this, they'll be like, yeah, trend line breakout, then let me enter from here and buy to this resistance level. No, sometimes their trend line breakout, like a trend line will give you a breakout. There's some of their fake out will give you a breakout here like this, and you're still having another resistance level here. When you know this market is going down to this resistance, to this support level, you are trying to buy from here. The market will trick you and still go back and hit that support level. So let's see. If I was to conclude this one as a breakout, you see this resistance where this market is currently holding this place and this place. I will be watching the market and waiting for a breakout either like this. Go out and buy. You understand? Allow the market to break out like this. Then I can now sell down to the resistance. That's the way I can trade the market. That's the only way I can trade the market. So that's the last thing that we are going to do. And let's see what will happen. You see, another breakout and it's going back to the downside. That's already my manipulation. This is your buy from here, chop stop loss. And now price have tapped this resistance. And we're adjusting our trend line as price is giving us different market structures. Price have tapped the support, sorry, and this trend line is being broken again. So this way can be anticipating that this trend line has been broken like normally. Like if you something like this, you cannot buy. Now buy. Then so that's all about trend lines. Basic explain very well from here. And I'm going to record a video as well. If you don't want, if you're not present in the class today, you watch it on YouTube. It's a perfect example. So we can call it a day, guys. Can call it a day. We have done a lot. This video will go a long way for anybody that can get it. That video will go a long way. But that's just a perfect great trend line. Well, price action. No matter the strategy that you are trading, if you don't know price action, and I always pity people that do venture that like they enter trading, they'll just start learning how to trade and they start learning how to trade SMC, um, CRT, all those big names. You understand? I always speak it those people because it's going to be hard for you to understand price action. The first thing that I learned when I started trading was this support and resistance, like support and resistance. That was the only strategy that I was trading when I started as a beginner. That's the first thing that I knew about trading. And that time I was just trading because once I mark my support and resistance, I just buy at the support area and sell at the resistance. before I started noticing trend lines and stuff by reading books, watching tutorials and stuff. So yes, we can call this one, we can call it a day, call it a day. I don't feel tired. Mm.